The electrical disaster which left thousands frustrated and Bristol City's credibility and cup dream temporarily in tatters. The match day had all started with anticipation. It ended in darkness. It was the FA Cup tie that never was. As those who couldn't get tickets made the most of what view they had, those who could settled down to enjoy the game at close quarters. And within 12 minutes they were shown a piece of persistent Barnes brilliance which set up Ian Rush for his 40th FA Cup goal. But it won't count in the record books. Wayne Allison got his name on the score sheet for City with an equaliser that sent the Ashton Gate crowd dreaming of a cup upset. But it came in quite a different manner than they'd been expecting. After 65 minutes, a third of the floodlights went out. Then the whole lot went. And try as some fans might to throw some light on events, the game was abandoned. In the cold light of today, the club's directors apologised and tried to explain.
The initial power failure on Saturday was due to a linking cable between the main supply and standby generator burning out. This cut a third of all power to the ground as a whole.
Bristol City will now have to spend at least £30,000 on a new generator. This one is to be scrapped. It's the first time it's been needed in its 20-year life, and it failed to work. It's little comfort for the fans, some of whom directed their anger at the contractors who'd recently installed the club's floodlights.
Well, the girls in the office have been subjected to quite a few abusive phone calls this morning from so-called fans, though I don't believe they are. And we've had some abusive faxes in. There was one threat came through to one of the girls this morning about the offices being firebombed, which is just, very, very disappointing.
I think at the end of the day, yes, it was bad luck.
The Liverpool match will be restaged on Wednesday week. Ticket prices have been halved, but what should have been a shining example of a soccer match will now always be remembered as the day the lights went out at Ashton Gate. Marcus Dare, HTV News.
And that's Peyton. And Barnsley finding plenty of time and space, and there's Archdeacon with time and space. Good shot and good save by the keeper, but Andy Rammell was there to put the ball over the line. And a great save, as you can see from the keeper. There were 3 Barnsley players coming in there, and one looked offside to me. Osman finding Tinnion, and that's to Scott. And what a great finish by Martin Scott, fully 35 yards there. What an absolutely stunning shot by Scott. Right into the top corner, City's equaliser.
Bristol-born Julian Dix returns to his home city with Liverpool, for whom he scored his first goal at Oldham on Saturday, and perhaps even more pleasing from his own point of view, with whom he's not yet been booked since he came from West Ham. There's also a reunion for the Bristol City defender Stuart Munro, who played with and under Graham Souness when the Liverpool manager was in Glasgow with Rangers. In fact, they won a clutch of trophies together. Well, tonight Munro plays in the centre of the City defence because Matt Bryant is suspended. Andy Llewellyn returns at right back, and the only other change from the abandoned match is at number 8, where the speed merchant Junior Bent has replaced Ian Brown. Liverpool also keep much the same side, only this time Steve McManaman starts the match. In fact, it's the 11 who began at Oldham on Saturday, Liverpool's 9th match without defeat. However, Mark Wright was named as a substitute tonight and then got injured in the warm-up, so he was replaced on the bench by Stig Inge Bjørneby. It's the same referee, Martin Bodnam, who was here when the floodlights failed. And with the fans consequently coming in tonight at much reduced prices, Liverpool have brought even more supporters than they did for the first match. There's about 5,500 here. And their team are playing in green and white from the right in the first half. Steve Nicol. On by Rush towards Fowler. And, Welsh called into action there with some hesitancy in the defence in front of him. And there could have been a dreadful moment for Bristol City in the opening seconds. Header on was by Allison. Robinson back to Llewellyn. Oh, and Ruddock had to make that interception. Misdirected pass from Nigel Clough. Scott with the throw. Here's Edwards. Ruddock's header, nearly towards Junior. Well, it is towards Junior Bent. Llewellyn. And Scott again. His right foot not his best. Redknapp. Nicol. And Clough finds Barnes. Here's Dix. Oh, good shot by Dix. He'd love to score back where he was born, but he certainly got off the mark for Liverpool at Oldham, and this was no mean effort in his native city. That's Martin forward, this is Robinson. Now it's Bent. Allison waiting in the centre, that's the far post ball for him. Grobbelaar picks it right off his head. Liam Robinson busying himself there, getting it wide to Junior Bent. It's the right ball from a Bristol point of view, but the goalkeeper came out on top here. Rush. McManaman now. Redknapp goes forward. Mistake by Munro, shot by Rush. Good save by Welsh. And a corner. Rush taking no time at all to get the strike in here as it came off number 5, Munro. Look at that. Corner then, Ruddock's forward. And there is Ruddock. And it is Redknapp. Ian Rush's goal here in the first meeting doesn't count in the records because the match was abandoned, so he just needs 2 still to equal Dennis Law's FA Cup record this century. Crowd are a bit quiet at the moment. Maybe that's because Bristol City, whose team have got the home advantage, have been somewhat subdued by a purposeful start from Liverpool. Oh, Jamie Redknapp, a misplaced pass straight to Allison. And the collision with Ruddock, who is penalised. Free kick to Bristol. Really, Ruddock was put into an awkward spot there by Redknapp. And SHAIL has gone up on the furthest side of the penalty area. Martin's in there too. Tinnion is lining the ball up here, left foot. And Tinnion shoots, and Grobbelaar holds on. Good thing he did, there were 2 running in. But Brian Tinnion, the former Newcastle and Bradford player, has got a lovely left foot, and he drove that and bent it, in fact, as best he could. Grobbelaar clutched it. Oh, good ball by Edwards, and onside, Junior Bent. And they've got 3 coming in from the other side, and Bent shoots right across across the goal, and I just wonder whether Bristol City can afford to spurn that kind of opportunity. They missed a couple before the first match was abandoned, and Bent there must have been perhaps a little bit torn between a cross and a shot. He was in the clear, the temptation was to shoot, I'm sure that's what he was attempting, across Grobbelaar, but from a Bristol point of view, it was across the far post as well. He had loads of space. Edwards put him through and he was onside. Grobbelaar, it was close. Left in the first half at Ashton Gate, and no score. Allison, Robinson, Bent's going through again. Oh, he's got the other side of Julian Dix, and this time he shoots too high. Again, it wasn't the best angle in the world for a strike, but again, it has to go down as a chance for Junior Bent. Julian Dix was sleeping a bit there, I would have thought, because he allowed Bent the space, but the shot missed by some way this time. And two opportunities have come the way of the little number 8, and he hasn't been able to take either of them. And here's Robinson, and he's through. Grobbelaar's out this time, and Robinson's beaten him. Ruddock's on the line. Wasn't needed. Well, he was, but Liam Robinson misses the third opening for Bristol City. How many more are they going to get? This time he got the goalkeeper beaten. Grobbelaar, in fact, was well beaten. It was a lovely little dummy. Now then, Ruddock must have just touched it. Not sure it was going in. You couldn't see from there. Tinnion with the corner. Martin's up. Well, we've got a cup tie now for sure. Edwards wide across to Tinnion. That looks a bit deep. Mark SHAIL's there, though. Oh, what a bad clearance by Ruddock, straight to Robinson. And Liverpool are all over the place at this particular moment. Edwards. But having said that, Russell Osman must be gnashing his teeth. They've had 3 wonderful chances, Bristol City. Here's Edwards. Robinson again. Outside it is Tinnion. Allison's in the middle, so is Bent. Well, they must be a bit concerned down there that after Liverpool started so smoothly, Bristol have now put together a very dangerous period of attacking play. McManaman. Well, Liverpool look at the referee and wonder about that challenge. Does he? Well, he may just have played the ball first, Brian Tinnion, and in that case, Martin Boddenham was correct. And there's the half-time whistle. And what an extraordinary second half of that first period it was, with Bristol City making 3 acceptable chances, all missed. And then Liverpool, lucky at that stage to be level, having a penalty appeal turned down right on half-time. Well, if Liverpool stay in the FA Cup, they'll have to look back on a 7-minute spell in that first half when 3 times fortune smiled on them, rather, or perhaps we should say that Bristol didn't make the most of their opportunities. And Bent on the far side now, certainly had 2 of them. That's Nicol. And here's Allison. Oh, and Grobbelaar, can he touch it? Well, it's a back pass, is it? Well, now then, what does the referee do about that? He uses his common sense and says it's not a free kick. But I think initially Grobbelaar didn't want to go for that ball because he realised it had come off Steve Nicol. It isn't a deliberate back pass, so the referee's right, but Grobbelaar, certainly at first, for that reason I'm sure, didn't react, but he had to in the end. This is Martin. Scott with Jones. Nicol was needed as well. It's still Scott for Bristol. And that's a foul by Jones. It wasn't the tidiest piece of play by the right back. And Martin Bodnam is going to caution him. There you can see the foot definitely snaked out and caught Scott. That's a yellow card for Rob Jones. Oh, they let the little man come in. Well, Rob Edwards got in behind Robinson, and Grobbelaar scrambled his header away. It's a good free kick from Tinnion, and Robinson took them away, and Edwards was so close. Scott, he's there again, Scott, and Liverpool, well, how much longer are they going to survive this? Scott's doing a worthy job on this left flank for Bristol, and the Premiership side, having been fortunate in the first half, have now got their backs to the wall at the start of the second half. It's a corner to Bristol City. Tinnion. McManaman. This is Fowler. Now Scott in defence, and Liverpool had plenty of players forward there for a moment. They still have, in fact. And if the ball was played right here, well, it wasn't really by either side. This is Ruddock. Rush. Barnes. And here comes Dix. And away by Munro, but the flag was up for offside anyway. Well, Bruce Grobbelaar there saved Liverpool. It's Edwards who has the header. It comes past. It's a very, very good save, that, because Martin was right in the goalkeeper's view. Well, I just don't really know how Bristol City have failed to score. They don't either, I suspect. This is Tinnion. Now it's forward by... Oh, he's onside again, Bent. It was forward by Munro. Three waiting in the centre. Corner. And still the First Division team take the game to the Premiership side. Well, Mark SHAIL, who was a Yeovil player this time last year and missed the chance to play against Arsenal in the Cup because he was suspended. He's determined to make up for it. Now the captain of Bristol City, not far away with the header. And every time the ball goes to that Liverpool penalty area, they are rocking. Robinson now, and he's away from Nicol. Well, this is a Liverpool side who might have looked measured for the first 15 minutes, but since then have looked absolutely rattled. Martin lets it run, and the referee plays an advantage. Here's Scott. Allison on the chest, well played, Robinson. And now it's Scott again. And again they've got space in the middle. Edwards, Robinson! It would not be an understatement to say that Bristol City at this moment are tearing Liverpool apart. Rush comes back to beat Monroe. Barnes, and now then, McManaman on the break. Liverpool's first attack for a long time, and they've got players getting forward here. That's Robbie Fowler. And this is Nigel Clough. And Rush is in the middle. And it's Bristol's turn to survive a dangerous moment. Allison to Martin. Oh, look at this! It's Robinson, and he's through. Nicol going across. Robinson shoots. And that's the difficult one for the player on the ball. He was right to shoot from where he was, but from a higher position, he wasn't to know. Wayne Allison was screaming for a square pass. But look at this. Dave Martin puts it through, and again the Liverpool defence is licked for pace. There was a player square, but Robinson had to go for it from there. Edwards, Martin, good play. And Nicol finds Fowler out on the left. Rush making his way into the centre. That looked like a block on Robbie Fowler by SHAIL. It's going to be a free kick. Nigel Clough will place the ball, but he won't take it. It's going to be Dix. And here comes Ruddock! Oh, it's been turned in at the far post! And it's Ian Rush again. Ian Rush. Oh, the Liverpool supporters salute the goal. And against the run of play, Julian Dix takes the free kick. The key player here is Neil Ruddock. He comes in between two defenders and gets the header past the keeper, and Rush only had to tap that over the line for his 40th goal in FA Cup football. I wonder from Liverpool's point of view whether he scored many more valuable than that. Well, he certainly scored them in finals, of course, but that one might just get them off the hook here. Rush turns it in, and that will be, floodlights permitting, the goal that takes him to within one of Dennis Law's record. And as he did in the first game, he puts Liverpool ahead. But can Bristol City do what they did and equalise? Here's Nicol to clear. Well, it was a free kick flighted by Dix. Welsh was backpedaling a bit. Ruddock came in between the defenders. It rolls across the line almost, but that's where Ian Rush is deadly. Now then, to say that Liverpool are fortunate to be in front, we'll have to wait for this corner. Here comes Grobbelaar. Didn't get a terribly good punch on that. They will know that on the play and on the chances, they're very fortunate to be in this position. But Bristol City haven't taken them. Can they now? Martin. Oh, and he's through here. Bent again. And he's now staring back at what could have been a hat-trick. A great touch by Allison and Martin put Bent in, but once more as Grobbelaar advanced, he pulled his shot across the goal. And the facts of the matter are that with money tight down here, Russell Osman has not got the wherewithal to go and buy a striker. The ones he's got have done well enough up to the final moment near goal. Here's Llewellyn. That's onside, a lovely ball by Tinnion to Bent. Now they've got plenty in the middle here. It's Bent. Oh, Robinson, surely, yes, Allison. Wayne Allison. And they really deserve it. It's 1-1, and Ashton Gate goes mad. Allison has scored for Bristol at last. It was a great ball by Tinnion. Junior Bent in space again, acres of it. They queued up in the middle here to meet the cross. The first man missed it, the second man missed it. Allison put it away. And Bristol City have equalised. 3 men waiting, any one of them could have scored. Robinson, no. Martin, no. Bad mistake by Jones, in by Allison. Redknapp. Well won by Rob Edwards. Bent. Allison ahead, so is Robinson, but not that way. Still Junior Bent. That's a good cross, and Allison's coming in, and Grobbelaar missed it. Incredible. Well, he's probably touched it, didn't he? It's surely a corner. When I say he missed it, he failed to catch it. But Allison looked there as though he might have won it in what must surely be nearly the last attack. Bent's cross, a beauty. Yes, it slipped out of Grobbelaar's hands. Wasn't a very good kick by the Liverpool goalkeeper, but the whistle goes. A roar from nearly 22,000 people who paid £77,000 in gate receipts. Russell Osman knows they've had their money's worth here tonight. His team excelled themselves, perhaps except for one vital area, the finishing. Missed so many chances and then had to come from behind. The scorers, as in the first match, Ian Rush for Liverpool, and then the equaliser from Wayne Allison of Bristol City. The tie goes back to Anfield next week, and after what Bolton did to Liverpool in the third round last year, and after the way they played tonight, don't let anybody dare rule Bristol City out yet.
After the number of chances you missed when Ian Rush scored, you must have thought how cruel the game can be.
Yeah, but that's football for you, isn't it? Sometimes you don't get what you deserve, and sometimes you get a little bit more than you deserve. I was just pleased that we got back into the game as quickly as we did. And again, right to the last couple of minutes of the game, either side probably could have won it.
We didn't play as what we could do, but we felt we got the right result in the end. But saying that, Bristol played very well, and we were second to most balls tonight. So in the end, we were fortunate to get a replay.
Now, next week, the replay at Anfield. Bolton went there last season and beat Liverpool in the third round replay. Can Bristol City do that?
Well, we've had 2 games on the trot against them here, you know, and the lads feel confident that they can go to Anfield now and still give a good account of themselves.
Well, it was a cracking display by Bristol. They were somewhat unlucky, weren't they, against your
No, it was a great game. Liverpool were awful, but you can't take anything away from Bristol. If you go on the pitch and you play with pace and aggression, you can play as well. You've got half a chance, but if you've got pace, aggression, you can play, and you're well organised, then you're in business. But they're going to rue the chances they missed tonight.
Sure. Now, what about Mr. Junior Bent? It's an interesting name. We've seen him in the Cup in former seasons. He's been very good. And tonight he had chances galore.
3 great chances. This is the first one. Now he takes it through. I think he goes too far to the right here. Grobbelaar stands up pretty well. He just blasts it wide, and that was a golden opportunity. The second one, his first touch isn't too bad. He's at a bad angle, but I think he just hits it for the sake of hitting it, and it goes high over the bar. The third chance is possibly the best of the 3 chances. A good angle to come in it. He tries to chip Bruce Grobbelaar, and it goes wide. 3 golden opportunities, and he hasn't hit the target once.
At least he got the opportunity. He's got sparkling pace.
Great pace, but, you know, he's got to score 1 of the 3.
Yeah. Now, what about Bruce? We got the usual effervescent Bruce display, a bit of this and a bit of that, and...
Well, a bit of this and a bit of that. This is totally unbelievable. I don't know where he's going here. He's going out of the ground. He's got to buy a ticket to get back in. There is no way Liam Robinson is ever going to score here because he's totally bemused, bewildered, and he puts it wide. And it's a let-off for Bruce, but this is where he's great. A great header here from Edwards, and this is a quite magnificent save. Low down to his right, and he palms it away. But that's just Bruce, isn't it?
Liam Robinson must have been quite bemused to see a man in yellow
running past him. Where does that guy come from?
The 8,000 Bristol City fans saw their side make an excellent start. After just 8 minutes, Liam Robinson was putting pressure on the Liverpool goal. But Liverpool too ensured the excitement of the 2 previous matches continued. Bruce Grobbelaar in the Liverpool goal again worried his fans, here giving the ball away only for Liam Robinson with no goalkeeper in his sights to shoot over. Grobbelaar out of his area again in the second half, this time faced by Junior Bent. He handles the ball and was booked for his efforts. Also, as in previous ties, Bristol City's Junior Bent continued his habit of missing clear-cut chances. Halfway through the second half, just as City were worrying their dominance hadn't produced goals, Tinnion struck. Both the players and their fans were ecstatic. Although Bristol City could have scored on at least 2 more occasions, Liverpool also threatened to equalise. But Bristol City held on, and the final whistle was greeted with triumphant scenes. The City players saluted their fans and the Liverpool supporters, who booed their own side but cheered the victors.
Brilliant! Absolutely superb! What a stadium!
Under a year ago, club skipper Mark SHAIL was playing for Yeovil Town, now a victor at Anfield.
Great night. The supporters were magnificent, I must say that, but so were theirs as well. They were very gracious, but we're exhausted, but as you can see, the lads are absolutely overwhelmed by it.
The ball just broke, and I saw Rudder coming across, and I thought, I'm going to get crunched here, and I just got to it first, and was gladly it bent in the far corner.
The crowd here, both our supporters and the Liverpool supporters, were magnificent. The Liverpool, you know, the cop at the end of the game, have all stayed there. They've applauded our lads off the pitch, which at the end of the day is what football should all be about.
A more than interested spectator at Anfield last night was Stockport manager Danny Vergara. And despite the fact that Liverpool were lucky to get away with a draw in Bristol, with home advantage, he must have thought the Premiership club would have won through last night. But Russell Osman's tight-knit side were never anything short of certain that they could continue the form they'd shown in both the previous attempts to settle the tie and put the lights out on what was Liverpool's last chance of a trophy. There was no mistaking the importance of the game. In the match programme, Graham Souness admitted that the FA Cup was a lifeline his team had to seize. And backed by over 6,000 fans, Bristol City went about snatching that lifeline away.
Bristol City taking this game to Liverpool as they did the first 2 matches, and that's a good ball from Tinnion, and Allison's away here. Rob Jones having to come across, in the middle, 3 waiting, Robinson, and it's Rob Edwards with a chance, and he's missed it. McManaman waving to those in the middle. Barnes has come on this side, he's got behind David Martin. Rush in the centre here, oh, deflection, Barnes and Rush, and still loose by the post, and they're piling in. Ian Rush at the bottom of the pile of bodies. And still Tinnion's left foot works for Bristol City, and Ruddock waiting for Grobbelaar. And after the same as down at Bristol, it's Robinson with a chance, the goal's empty! Oh, he's just put it over! Barnes. Now Clough. And to his left, McManaman. They're stretched a bit here, Bristol. Rush! Oh, should have scored. And again, Bristol City's passing, a joy to watch. Look at that triangle there by the midfield players. And away goes Junior Bent. And Grobbelaar, oh, he handled that surely, outside the area. That's got to be a yellow card. Perhaps it should have been a red. And Robinson hooking it on. Header came back off Harkness, Tinnion, Allison. Jones comes in for the tackle, it's free, it's Tinnion, it's a goal! They've done it! Bristol City score! And it's Tinnion. That left foot of his, a potent weapon throughout this tie, and in the corner. And the supporters from the West Country ready to celebrate here. Bristol City have done what Bolton did here last year. They've beaten Liverpool in a 3rd round replay at Anfield. Great delight for them, but you just wonder what this might have done to Liverpool's season. It was always going to be a critical cup tie for Liverpool and Graham Souness, and they've been beaten on their own ground.
Anfield has seen many great scenes of celebration over the years, but not from visiting fans. The Bristol City supporters rightly hailed their heroes. The Kop joined them, but a lot of them were also singing Souness out. When Stockport manager Danny Bergara arrived home, the Bristol City players were still celebrating in the bath. Liverpool manager Graham Souness was still behind a firmly shut dressing room door. He knew exactly what that defeat would mean.
Well, it was a terrific win for Russell Osman and his team. And Russell, it wasn't just the win, it was the manner of your win, because you outplayed them really both games, didn't you?
Well, we played very well. You know, we try and pass the ball around. The pitch was very nice last night, and the boys did pass the ball very well.
Now, as a player for Ipswich over many years, you played against all the great Liverpool teams. What do you feel about the present setup there?
They're still a very good side. We had nothing to lose last night, and our players were very hungry for a result. They're very committed, and they showed a hell of a lot of passion. It's not right for me to talk about Liverpool. I've got a lot of time for Graham, and he showed his great hospitality last night towards the players, the wives, and people like that. But as far as we're concerned, our lads stuck to the task very, very well. They showed a lot of discipline and got on with the job that we asked them to.
Liverpool job's a tough one at the moment, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, you know, and Graham's a brave man in taking the job on, and he'll do the right thing.
Yeah. Now, you outplayed them, then you lose at home to Notts County, then you outplay them. How does that work?
Yeah, you tell me. It was very difficult to pick the lads up for the Notts County game, because one minute we had a crowd of 21,000 people there midweek. That dropped down to 7,000 for the home game. I think the players put a hell of a lot of effort into the Wednesday game against Liverpool, and I think by the time the league game came against Notts County, one or two of them suddenly, you know, felt a bit lead-legged. We rested them towards the end of the week, and suddenly they were fit as fiddles again last night.
Now, you've got a player called Junior Bent, fascinating name, and we always think he should score 6 every time we see him play. If he could finish, he'd be worth about 3 million.
Well, they call him Nugget at the club. He's a terrific little lad. You know, he's a tremendous character. What we do with Nugget, he goes in, he softens them up, gives them a false sense of security, and then we go in and finish the job.
Finish the job. And Tinnion, who scored the goal, had a bet with you half-time, I read this morning.
Yeah, I was trying to do my team talk at half-time, and all I could hear, he was behind me saying, well, I'm going to score, Gaffer, this half. You know, I'm confident. I keep getting half chances. I'll score this half. And I'm saying, well, shut up, Brian. I'm trying to talk to the rest of the lads.
So it was a night of a bit of celebration. But, of course, you've got a tough time next time, haven't you? You're away to Stockport, who knocked out Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, very
And you'll be
much so.
playing in front of a handful in comparison to...
Yeah, it's disappointing for our supporters, because 7,500 went up last night to Anfield, yet we only get 1,300 tickets for the game at Stockport. There'll be a lot of disappointed supporters down in Bristol now. So it'll be up to our players to pick themselves up again and make sure that we do the supporters that travel and we do them a good job.
Well, it was a great win last night, and thanks for the moment.
Thank you.
Martin Scott with the free kick. Aimed towards Wayne Allison. And a free kick in a dangerous position for a foul by Mark Hughes. He said Allison was elbowing him. Wayne Allison just smiles. And in a very dangerous position, Bristol City have a free kick. Edge of the D then. Perfect for position for Brian Tinnion or Martin Scott to hit. Liam Robinson standing off it as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players now in the Tranmere wall. Scott takes it, comes off the top of the wall. And in the end, it all comes to nothing. Disappointing free kick in the end. Martin tussling with Malkin. Martin Scott. Edwards in a bit of space now. Just too far for Pennyfather. Edwards wins it back again. Martin Scott now. Tinnion in space on the left. This is Tinnion. 3 men round him. Uses Martin Scott. Robinson. Tinnion. Flick forward to Martin Scott. Robinson. Good save. And away by Higgins. Neat, steady approach play. And then it bounced just too high for Liam Robinson. Couldn't get a telling shot on goal. O'Brien. Allison wins the challenge now as Tinnion And Robinson inside him. There's Tinnion. Needs someone to run for him. Here's Martin Scott making the overlap. Allison runs to the far post. Here's Allison, controls it. Pennyfather, Robinson. Well, they just took too long about it. It was all half-paced. And when it fell to Wayne Allison, well, he had men around him, and Robinson took too much time. Edwards. Tinnion, lovely touch. The overlap from Llewellyn. Early ball for Tinnion, needs to turn. Allison! Good save from Nixon. But that was more positive from City. One-touch football and a first-time shot. Thomas. Well, Aldridge was spare. And Welsh did well to grab it at the second attempt, but suddenly John Aldridge had space. All over Wayne Allison. Free kick quickly taken. Andy Llewellyn. Just wide. Well, he's not often in those positions, Andy Llewellyn, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He did the right thing and tried and chip him. And it just went the wrong side of the post. Robinson. He's got no one in support. The only man is Martin Scott. Here he is. Deep cross towards Allison. Gets it back inside. Edwards! Again he lined himself up, and again he took too much time. It never fell down, but by the time he'd lined up his shot, the defence was across to put it away for a corner. How many chances will Bristol City get this afternoon? They've got to take one of them. Here's Tinnion with another corner. Towards SHAIL, still in the box. SHAIL up again. Half cleared. Pennyfather strikes it early and strikes it over the bar. And now Bristol City want to make the substitution. Ian Brown, the man who'll come on. Liam Robinson is going to come off. SHAIL. Morrissey. Tinnion, poor ball. Brown is through. Can he score with his first touch? Taken down by Nixon, and surely, well, Nixon has to go. Did Mr. Callow think that there were other Tranmere players around him, and there was a chance that Brown would have been tackled by one of them? As it is, Nixon is just walking off even before the referee has shown the cards, and Eric Nixon is sent from the field. And now Tranmere make a substitution. Now this is the part of the game that I think is unfair. If you're going to send off a goalkeeper, then really the advantage is lost when you send on the substitute goalkeeper. Tinnion, he scores! It doesn't matter who you put in goal. When Brian Tinnion hits a free kick like that, it always goes in the corner of the net. And the man who scored against Liverpool to win the FA Cup tie has scored again here and puts Bristol City in the lead. It's City 1, Tranmere 0. Morrissey. Rob Edwards there first with a good tackle. Brennan going the wrong way, putting Higgins under pressure, but he did well. But not that well. Allison, 1 against 1, round the keeper and scores! No doubt about that. Wayne Allison Tranmere are dead and buried and looking at their 5th successive league defeat.
In the side now, you know, and they treat every game the same. You know, they want to win every game that they play in it.
So the vote of confidence from their manager and a head start from skipper Mark SHAIL. But after the early celebrations, it was backs to the wall. As the shots rained in, goalkeeper Keith Welsh protected the lead with a string of acrobatic saves. Still, Stockport pressed forward, and when Welsh was beaten, it was fullback Martin Scott to the rescue. For once, Stockport's normally talkative manager seemed lost for words, and his worst fears were realised early in the second half, when Brian Tinnion found space on the left and crossed for Wayne Allison to score with a low header. 10 minutes later, the best of all, Allison charges through to make it 3-0. It was now all over bar the shouting, and there was more of that when Tinnion played Allison through to score City's 4th and complete a memorable hat-trick. For City, this was another difficult hurdle overcome. Another night to savour for the fans who'd made the long journey north. As the players milked the acclaim, their 3-goal striker showed penalty box sharpness to evade the cameras. But when cornered by reporters and pressed for a comment, he was typically modest about his performance.
I'm doing nothing different. It's all about confidence in front of goal, you know. You got to relax, and they're going in now.
If we can keep raising our game for the FA Cup matches, one game at a time, with a little bit of, you know, lady luck or whatever it is going our way, then you never know.
At Roker Park, City's best chances fell to Brian Tinnion from free kicks. Neither of them troubled the keeper. City obviously saving their best form for Saturday's cup tie with Charlton.
The players didn't produce football to match the occasion. Fouls littered the first half, but this one did produce the one highlight for Bristol City fans. Brian Tinnion, who scored the goal which knocked Liverpool out of the cup, had struck again, beating the wall and keeper with apparent ease. The second half belonged to Charlton as they took control and threatened to score for some time before Scott Minto made good ground to pass to Mark Robson. Few disagreed it was a fair result. As the Charlton players left the field, they were happier, but City maintained they have no fears about a replay.
We've got no worries about going back to the Valley at all. We beat Liverpool back at Anfield, we've beaten Stockport on their home patch, and there's no reason we can't go back to Charlton and beat them back at the Valley.
Want a lesson in how not to defend? Watch this. Far from closing men down, Southend opted for complete indifference, presumably in the hope that City would be deceived by the lack of security. It didn't work, and Wayne Allison's 18th of the season put them in good heart for the Charlton replay.
Munro. Easy for the experienced Ratcliffe. Martin. Mobbed down. Play on, says the referee. Kitson gets away from Munro. Has Gabbiadini inside. It's floated towards Gabbiadini. And the man spare is Charles. Inside to Gabbiadini. Oh, what a wasted opportunity. The Derby's top scorer. Bryant. Gabbiadini is onside and away. One-on-one with Welsh. Still. And Welsh does remarkably well as Gabbiadini falls over the ball. Well, he stood up well, Keith Welsh, and just as Gabbiadini tried to go around him, he pounced. Got the ball at the second attempt. But it was touch and go with the offside decision in the first place. The flag stayed down on the far side. Edwards. Edwards again. Tinnion. And Bent is behind the defence. Cuts back inside. Early cross in towards Allison. Well, I think Wayne Allison was put off by the fact that Junior Bent cut back inside. He was ready for the early ball. And Jamie Hoyland had got forward as well. And in the end, it was too high for him. Hoyland, good flick on, Allison. Hoyland. Well, his first shot for Bristol City won't go down in the record books. At least he can afford a smile. The only redeeming feature, it did go out for a goal kick and not a throw-in. It's too far for Bent, and surely not the way to feed him. Bryant only nods it down to Gabbiadini. Scott. Edwards. There's room over on the left as Tinnion had pulled himself away wide. Scott needed the ball earlier. Tinnion. Allison and Short. Allison goes round the keeper. Short. Bent. Well, a catalogue of errors by both sides. First by Derby, who were just trying to give possession to Bristol City, and then as it ricocheted to Junior Bent, it went wide. Well, the best chance of the half, and poor old Junior Bent is really struggling to find the net this season. Bryant. Bent. Two men on him now. The man spare is Harriott. Tinnion turns and shoots just wide. And at last, Bristol City string some passes together. Find a bit of room. Harriott pushing forward. Martin's dummy. And a twist and turn from Brian Tinnion just wide. Bent. Will he run at the old man Ratcliffe? They will. And obstructed inside the area. Over that far left-hand side. It's a difficult angle for the left-footed players of Brian Tinnion, Martin Scott and Rob Edwards. Mr. Cooper wants the Derby wall back. Tinnion. Bryant. Took a deflection. And it's a corner. He struck it well, Matty Bryant. He came from nowhere. It was just not what Derby County were expecting. And took a deflection. Tinnion now with the corner towards Bryant again. Well, perhaps this is not meant to be Junior Bent's season. How many times have we seen him inside the 6-yard box and miss? Against Liverpool, he was a culprit on numerous occasions, and there, with a goal at his mercy, he troubled the Winterstoke Road car park and not Martin Taylor, and that is the best chance of the half. Again, it only goes as far as Martin Scott. Tommy Johnson now, little back heel to Cowans. Johnson makes the run. It's a good one. Gabbiadini in the middle waiting for him. Good early cross. It runs all the way to Pembridge. Still Pembridge. Well, we were just saying how quickly Bristol City were on the counter-attack, but that almost taught them a lesson. Great run from Tommy Johnson. But again, Pembridge, the culprit. Pembridge. Johnson. And this time it's Tommy Johnson's turn to put it in the East End. Something will have to be sorted out in that Bristol City defence, because each time there's a spare striker. Now Tommy Johnson has come on. Martin Scott. Rosinia. Allison. Hoyland! It couldn't have been closer. And he couldn't have marked his debut in a better way. The knockdown from Rosinia, the flick from Allison, and Hoyland just up and over the bar. Gabbiadini. Nicholson on the overlap. 3 men in the middle. One of them is Pembridge. Well, he had a free header and put it straight at Keith Welsh, and now City come away. Allison. Tinnion making room. This is Tinnion. Rosinia's in space. Rosinia! He had time to control it and put it where he wanted, and instead he tried to hit it first time. Well, it was end-to-end football, but a delightful little chip from Brian Tinnion, and Leroy Rosinia only had to put a foot on it and then put it anywhere around the keeper, and that turns out to be the last chance of a disappointing game. There were chances, there were clear-cut chances, and every single one of them went astray. We never did get that goal in the end. It's Bristol City 0, Derby County 0. Flick on from Hoyland. Hoyland again. Robinson trying to get in there. Doesn't fall for Martin Scott. And eventually it's Stimpson gets it away. Only as far as Monroe. Allison is onside. 2 men waiting in the middle. One of them is Robinson. There's Robinson. Scott off the crossbar. And finally away by Portsmouth. Wow, what a promising opening from Bristol City. They've been criticised in recent weeks, and they've certainly made their chances. And that time, Martin Scott's fierce shot off the bar. Here's Liam Robinson. Scott makes the overlap with Martin Scott. Only Wayne Allison in the middle. Scott gets the cross in. Allison! Well, even in the first 5 minutes of this game, you can see that City making the overlaps and their fullbacks pushing forward. This time Wayne Allison going close. Allison, lovely little deft header. The Tinnion, he's got Robinson running forward. Hewlett streaking ahead. This is Hewlett. Great counter-attacking move. And a lovely run from the youngster Matt Hewlett. And just too far for Liam Robinson. But City certainly creating their chances. Here's Robinson. And here's Hewlett. He's through again, but he can't control it. Well, the youngster was through once more. This time he couldn't quite control it, but again he's finding the space. Here for Portsmouth is Ray Daniel. Skates round Hewlett. McLaughlin running forward. SHAIL read it. And now it's a chase for Robinson against Orford. Still in trouble, Orford. Robinson. Typical of his game, Liam Robinson. Always trying, always putting pressure on the defence. But unfortunately, typical so far this season that he's really yet to find the target. McLaughlin. SHAIL read that one. Allison, good layoff. The chip forward is towards Harriott. Still Harriott. Allison, good save from Knight. Thunder strike from Allison. He may have had time just to take it a little bit further. But I think what the crowd will be pleased with is that Allison hit it and not Harriott. Good save nevertheless from Knight. Tinnion. Allison chasing. Putting pressure on Dobson. Harriott, early cross towards Robinson. It's just too far for him. But he'll put Russell under pressure again. And in the end, Russell gives it away to Scott. Running forward is Hoyland. Scott gets the header in. Tinnion, flick forward to Scott again. And they win the corner. I think Martin Scott sees himself as a left winger this afternoon, thoroughly enjoying his role. Tinnion then with this corner. SHAIL comes forward from the back. So too does Bryant. Hoyland runs near post. That's towards Hoyland. And in the end, Alan Knight bravely falls at the feet of Robinson. Robinson. Scott. Tinnion. Scott again. Allison. Here's Tinnion. Tinnion. And Harriott was the man coming in at the far post. Again, the overlap. And all the danger coming down the left-hand side for City. SHAIL, little chip towards Allison. Hoyland tries to get the flick on. Stimpson gets the header away. Tinnion. Hewlett leaves it for Bryant. Little chip towards Allison. Brings it down. Still Allison. Allison scores! And at last we see a goal for Bristol City at Ashton Gate. You thought the chance was lost, but Allison brought it down sweetly. He turned, and Knight couldn't see it through the crowded area. And Allison finally breaks a barren spell. And City are ahead. Harriott and Daniel does well as Harriott commits himself slightly. McLaughlin now. It's Powell. Turns nicely. Still Powell. Powell going all the way himself. I think that's the first save that Keith Welsh has had to make this afternoon. SHAIL gets in before Creaney. It's a chase for Allison against Knight. Comes out, and Allison's got it now. There's an open goal. Allison goes himself. Baird can't cut it back. Hewlett, and wrestled off the ball. And Powell comes away with it, but that was a golden opportunity as Allison got there before Alan Knight, and he cut it back inside, and City couldn't take advantage of it. Tinnion gets in there. Scott again on the overlap. How many times have we seen that this afternoon? Lovely cross. Again, it's just a touch too far. Hewlett. Baird and Allison waiting in the middle. Allison near post. Allison! Good save again from Knight. This time he turned onto his left foot, Allison. And Knight again down quickly. Another chance goes begging, and it was a chance that could have sealed this game. Good strong header from SHAIL. Allison now brings it down. Allison, good shot, and what a save from Alan Knight. Still City have it. Allison again. This time his elbow was up. Well, what a great reaction save from Alan Knight. Allison brought it down, struck it on the volley. Bryant tussling with Creaney. Bryant. Harriott this time gets past Daniel. Brings it down. Allison, Baird, and Tinnion waiting in the middle. Harriott goes himself! Well, he's beginning to impress, the youngster. He's worked his hard way into this side, and he's been given the freedom to overlap this afternoon. Floated towards SHAIL. Half cleared. Hewlett takes it himself. Will he shoot? Goes himself. Hewlett! Right across the face of goal. And too far for Allison and Baird. But that's the third or fourth time that Matt Hewlett's got into a position like that. And unfortunately, the third or fourth time the ball has slid across the face of the goal.
When these two footballing sides get together, you can expect fine action. Wayne Allison with the opener for Bristol after 18 minutes, cancelled out just 8 minutes later by David Lee. Lovely effort. Coyle's strike then, on the stroke of half-time, gave the home side the lead. But Bristol City got back into it again, courtesy of another of the day's finest. Allison again. What a beauty.
All eyes this afternoon on one man who's certainly no stranger here at Ashton Gate. It's Bob Taylor's first return to his old club since his £300,000 departure to West Brom a couple of years ago. Then the hero of the East End with 34 crucial goals in Bristol City's promotion year. Now an important member of West Brom's bid to stay afloat in the First Division. The man who's replaced him as City's striking favourite is Wayne Allison. 20 goals to his credit this season, the same as Bob Taylor, coincidentally, including a stunning double at Bolton last weekend. Allison is joined up front by Liam Robinson, who had a couple of great chances to score himself last week at Bolton, but was removed to the subs bench for the midweek defeat at Stoke. Russell Osman reverts to a flat back four with Matt Bryant's injury in training on Friday. Bob Taylor will be thankful, therefore. He'll only face 2 and not 3 central defenders, and he'll be hoping for good service from the flanks from David Smith. And likely to partner him up front is Andy Hunt, scorer of 14 goals already this season. This afternoon's referee, Paul Alcock from South Merstham. It's Bob Taylor who gets his first very early touch here at Ashton Gate in a crucial game for both sides. It's Wayne Allison getting the important tackle in early. West Brom needing every point to get out of those dangerous positions they're in at the bottom of the First Division. Just 6 points off the relegation zone. And Bristol City, after that disappointing defeat midweek, are seemingly a very long way off the playoffs. So a crucial encounter here at Ashton Gate, as most games really are towards the end of the season, with every club battling for every point they can get. SHAIL under pressure from Hunt. A handball, play on, said the referee. The overlap, Taylor waiting in the middle. That's towards Taylor, but cut out by Monroe. Still it falls for West Brom. Chance to get a shot in. And it did come in from Donovan. Quick passing from West Brom. Donovan on the edge of the box could only find the wall of Keith Welsh in Bristol City's goal. And an early scare, certainly, for Bristol City. Martin now. Tinnion. Allison is onside, surely being tugged. The linesman is waving. The referee hasn't seen the linesman, but we'll see if the linesman still continues to wave. And he does. And now he'll go over and have a word with him. And surely a free kick to Bristol City. Well, we saw this in midweek when Keith Hackett gave a penalty and then was overruled by the linesman. And he was so much closer than the linesman. And there, you have to say that Mr. Alcott was certainly much closer than the linesman then. Well, you have to also ask yourself whether Wayne Allison had a clear chance on goal. And you may say there was an extra defender there for him, but it's touch and go. Whatever, Bristol City have a free kick on the edge of the box. Brian Tinnion over it. Tinnion with Hewlett. Hewlett takes it straight into the wall. Dave Martin, early ball to Martin Scott. Martin in there quickly. Robinson trying to worry Parsley. Edwards. Hoyland. The flag stays down. Robinson, can he score his first goal at Ashton Gate? He can't. And once again, Liam Robinson is put through, finds himself against an opposing keeper and fails to score. Wayne Allison shouts that I was in space, but Robinson was always going to go himself, and he put it round Naylor and he put it round the post. Tinnion has been kept quiet in this first half. Here is Tinnion. Crowd thought it was a foul, but hasn't been able to show his skill. Can he now? Good ball towards Robinson. Keeps it in play. Scott. Allison being watched very closely. Penalty. He was being watched too closely by Paul Raven. Well, it was a good ball through for Wayne Allison. A real tussle with Paul Raven. And eventually Allison went down. And no hesitation from Mr. Alcott. You can make up your own mind on that. Here's Tinnion. He's hit the post, and it's saved by Naylor. Well, he didn't hit it very well. And it came out very cleanly for Naylor. And it's a lucky escape for West Brom. And it's a very poor miss for Bristol City. Still West Brom have possession. Now Hunt, can he get away from Martin Scott? He can't, as Dave Martin is in there quickly. And here's O'Regan. Martin just gets it through to Tinnion. Scott looking for an option. The option is Robinson chasing. And eventually the referee gives a corner. Well, Liam Robinson was tugging on the defender's arm and brought him down, but referee says it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. And eventually it goes for a corner. Taken quickly towards SHAIL. Good save from Naylor. We've seen him score from those positions before, Mark SHAIL. I think his first goal for City was at Tranmere from a corner, and a good header that time. This time, keeper Naylor was across to save. Really only one clear-cut chance on goal for Bristol City, which Liam Robinson spurned. Of course, Brian Tinnion's penalty was saved. Just the one chance in open play. Monroe now. Towards Hoyland. Here's Allison. Turns well. Allison! So strong in those positions now, Wayne Allison. Fighting off 2 or 3 challenges and still getting a fiery shot in. This time he couldn't bend it round the keeper. It was straight at Stuart Naylor. Smith. Parsley. Smith again. Goes around Martin. Early cross comes in towards Taylor. Still Taylor. How dearly he would have loved to have scored on his return to Ashton Gate. Took it nicely on his chest, but It fell nicely for Keith Welsh, and he grabbed it at the second attempt. SHAIL looking for the ball over the top was Robinson. Robinson in. And they were just there before him. He doesn't stop working, Liam Robinson. You have to say that for him. He doesn't give up. He may have only scored 3 times this season, but he just will not give up. And that was a case in point. And that is half-time. Disappointing half for Bristol City. They know they should be going in at least a goal up, but Brian Tinnion missing that penalty. Liam Robinson also having a chance which he really should have scored from. At half-time, it's Bristol City 0, West Brom 0. Join us after the break. Welcome back. It's Brian Tinnion that gets the second half underway. Of course, it was Brian Tinnion who scored the only goal at the Hawthorns when these two sides met in December. And it's Brian Tinnion who could have opened the scoring with a penalty in the first half. That's the West Brom camp, who have supplied a lot of people to the Dolman stand. But here's Robinson again! And again, he misses the target. Well, you can see why the crowd is frustrated, but Liam Robinson must be more frustrated than most. Once again, he's put through, and once again, he blasts it wide. Not even near that time. Harriot's ball cut out by Burgess. Martin, and once again Robinson is through. Allison in the centre, towards Allison. Good save from the keeper, Hewlett. Goal kick. This time Robinson was dangerous in supplying. Down to the byline, great cross. And Stuart Naylor, ever so brave to get in there before Wayne Allison. And Hewlett's shot over the bar. That was more like it. And how quickly Liam Robinson could have silenced his critics by providing Wayne Allison with a goal there. He did everything right. Got the cross in straight away. And Naylor was strong in the challenge. And again, it comes to nothing and it remains goalless. Hoyland trying to find Hewlett. Taylor, little flick to Smith. It's given away again. Hewlett hasn't really got into the game this afternoon, Matt Hewlett. Donovan finally checked by Martin. Harriot's clearance. Hewlett, Hoyland, good ball for Robinson. Allison running in the centre. And the man covering again was Paul Raven, who's denied Bristol City on a couple of occasions. But again, Robinson clear, again down the right. This time he couldn't quite find Wayne Allison. Paul Raven covering once more. But again, Bristol City have a corner. Again, it's Tinnion to take it. Hoyland calling for it, so too is SHAIL. And Naylor has to put it away for another corner. Difficult hanging ball in the breeze. A safe option from Naylor. So another corner from the far side. This time the youngster Matt Hewlett will take it. The same players forward. SHAIL now at the far post. It's in short towards Hoyland. The return ball out to Hewlett. Takes it onto his right foot. It's the cross in towards SHAIL. And this time it's half cleared. West Brom bring it away. Interception. And Robinson again has the chance. 3 players in the middle this time. And it's not Liam Robinson's day. And he knows it. And you can understand why they're off their seats behind the goal. There's another golden opportunity. Allison, Hewlett descending on that far post. Just needed a good cross, and it was anything but that. Martin. And easy for Donovan to bring away, as Holland really wasn't quite sure what was going on. Now again towards Robinson and Allison. They were too close to each other. And again it comes to nothing. Hoyland. Scott. Allison. Tinnion. Good cross in towards Hewlett. Hewlett! Great save. And recaptures it. This time it was Hoyland causing the danger. And then it came to Matty Hewlett, whose toe poke was brilliantly saved from Naylor. Grasped it well at the second attempt. And really, the West Brom keeper is the difference between these two sides. He's kept the baggies in it. Parsley. And easily cleared from SHAIL. But the header comes back in. Hunt's flick. It was a poor clearance, but City escape. Now Allison. Robinson. Using Hewlett, who's hugging this right-hand touchline. Still Hewlett. Goes himself. Not a bad shot from the youngster. We've seen little of him this afternoon, but he's always got the confidence to run at people. Always got the confidence to shoot. Smith. Wins the corner. Four men waiting in the box for West Brom. Burgess, Taylor. Raven is one of them. Floated towards Burgess. Easily into the hands of Keith Welsh. I'll be happy if they come like that all day. Keith Welsh. Taylor. Inside to Hamilton. Still Hamilton. Two running for him. One is Donovan. The other is Hunt. The man on the outside is O'Regan. And he just couldn't control it. Easily worked. An easy overlap. And just went too far for the former Republic of Ireland international. We've played about a minute of injury time. Taylor. And in fact, that is the last action of this very disappointing game. Bristol City, no, they should have taken all 3 points. SHAIL solid at the back, not letting in Bob Taylor, who would have loved to have scored today, but Brian Tinnion knows he should have scored from the penalty, and Liam Robinson knows he should have scored from a couple of open opportunities. So it's 2 points dropped for Bristol City. Good applause for Bob Taylor on his first trip back here, back to Ashton Gate. But it remains goalless. Bristol City 0, West Brom 0.
A battling draw which halted 5 successive home wins for Forest, but City's chances were few and far between. Rob Edwards on his recall wide. A point not enough to boost City's faint promotion hopes, but yet another clean sheet for Keith Welsh, though at times only just. Stuart Pearce's surging runs always giving the City defence plenty to think about. Robert Rosario won't want to think about how he missed from 1 yard.
Allison now in a bit of space. Wyatt gets an early cross in. Allison, too many people there in the end. The referee has given a corner. Well, the linesman didn't flag. But Mike Pearce was in, no doubt. Allison and Partridge in the 6-yard box. SHAIL, McCopp, Wyatt and Martin laying off it. That's towards Martin, gets the header in. Strong header from Martin. Aimed back inside the box towards Wayne Allison. Eventually out for the goal kick. Mendonca, Livingston. Childs now. Ford on the overlap. Childs cuts back inside to Groves. Mendonca. Ford. Childs off the top of the crossbar. And it still falls for Grimsby. Gilbert goes out for a corner, but Keith Welsh rooted to his spot, to his goal line, and it fired off the crossbar and out to safety. SHAIL. Scott lines up the shot. What a fine save from Crichton. We said it was going to be an afternoon where it shoot on sight in these tricky conditions, but Crichton did well to push it round the post, but that was a fiery effort from Martin Scott. So nearly the opener here for Bristol City. As it is, they still have a corner. Rob Edwards takes it towards SHAIL. Can't get any power on the header. Hooked away by Groves. Still City have it. Partridge edge of the box. Now SHAIL turns. Allison first time. But SHAIL in the unusual position on the edge of the penalty area there, fighting his way through. And Allison not worrying the goalkeeper this time, as Martin Scott had done before him. Wyatt gets round his man, early cross, Martin! Another fine save from Crichton. Partridge. Wyatt gets it in again. Edwards slices it. Still it's there. Partridge can't bring it down, and eventually it's cleared by Shakespeare. But any number of chances for City there. What a great diving header from Dave Martin. That could have been his second of the season. But another fine save from Crichton. Partridge. Harriet. Well, after a couple of tough challenges, Grimsby bring it away. Gilbert. Good early cross in. Livingston! Perhaps that's why Bristol City didn't buy him, because he missed his chances. What a perfect cross from Dave Gilbert. And sliding in at the near post was Steve Livingston, and he just put it towards the JCB. Four waiting in the middle. Steve towards Allison. Well, he got a clean header on it, but he blasted it over the bar. Great curling cross. And Allison, one of four men, steaming in at the far post. Grimsby can bring it away. Livingston inside to Gilbert. Mendonca gets around Harriet. Run at SHAIL. This is Gilbert. Livingston, great save from Welsh. And away by Monroe. And once again, Keith Welsh shows his worth, because Livingston had a free shot on goal. And just as you thought Grimsby were going to score, Welsh did enough. But now he's in trouble. And the referee decides that wasn't intentional handball, as Welsh came sliding 10 or so yards outside his box. Well, he went down, it clearly struck his hands, and you have to say, I think Keith Welsh knew what he was doing, and that was a lucky escape if not for Keith Welsh staying on the pitch. And the fact that the follow-up didn't go anywhere near the goal. Hewlett. Still Hewlett. Cuts it inside. Partridge. Super work from Hewlett. Twisting, turning, getting the cross in. But it was Partridge who couldn't twist and turn himself quite enough to get a good enough shot on goal. And now Allison may have the chance to seal it. Takes it round the keeper and blatantly brought down. And Bristol City will have a penalty in the last minutes of this game. Well, it came fortunately off a rebound for Wayne Allison, but he was so quick in latching onto the end of it, and Paul Crichton dragged him down even though Allison was taking it away from goal. Martin Scott against Paul Crichton. 1-0. And in fact, what a dramatic end. That is the last kick of the game.
Then with the kick for Bristol City, and it's another long kick deep into that Birmingham half. And it drops for Partridge. He's got space for a shot, and that's a great finish by Partridge. And what a start for the youngster. 5 minutes gone. Bristol City now forced to do a bit of defending. And that doesn't stop the ball from going in, and Claridge there, and Welsh was down well. 23 clean sheets for him this season, and I wonder how long it's going to be before somebody in a higher division notices that. But Wayne Allison's broken through, the keeper's out, and Partridge is on for a number 2, and there it is, the second of the afternoon for him. And only 19 minutes gone now, and really this is turning into a wonderful afternoon for the teenager who came on a free transfer from Bradford. Now Claridge breaking down the wing, a chance for Birmingham to get something back into the centre. Donowa, oh, and again Welsh is showing his class. Donowa given far too much space by McCopp, but what a reaction save from Welsh. To the edge of the area, and then played high and hopeful back in. And the referee has given a penalty. And quite that was for. Bristol City, I seem to see, appealed for offside there, and it seemed to hit Claridge's arm. But the penalty given against Allison, and Claridge gets it. Birmingham City now forcing Bristol City back. They're desperate for points and are pouring players forward, and again McCopp is beaten for pace, and Welsh has come out, and that's going to roll in for the equaliser for Birmingham. And really, you'd have to question Keith Welsh then, but McCopp beaten for pace, and it's now 2-2.
The form that took Luton to the FA Cup semi-final deserted them as City's young Tigers ran riot. Dominic Barkley on his debut, and Scott Partridge starting just his third full game, worrying the visitors. There were 5 teenagers in the City side, but the under-21 Welsh international Rob Edwards claimed the only goal of the game. Liam Robinson, a comparative veteran at 28, could have broken his duck at Ashton Gate, but the crossbar denied him. And debutant Dominic Barkley, just 17, could have capped his first performance in fine style, but Luton keeper Sommer spoilt the party. Dominic Barkley linked up for a second time this week, an attack that left Liam Robinson again in an unusual role for him in midfield. Mark SHAIL passed a late fitness test and returned at the centre of defence. Russell Osman was particularly keen to include his skipper to curb the threat of Watford's top marksman Paul Furlong, who'd scored 18 times before yesterday. The experienced Colin Foster, a recent signing from West Ham, looking after Watford's back four. And it looked like Rob Edwards got a nasty shove in the back. Was in the challenge with Paul Furlong. And looks to be in a certain amount of pain, the Welsh under-21 international. And standing ovation for Rob Edwards as he's carried off the pitch. Harriott, Martin, Liam Robinson, Barkley making a run, Robinson, Partridge, and it's there! There's no stopping this youngster. He scored 2 against Birmingham. He scores another here this afternoon. Liam Robinson with the shot. Digweed could only parry, and there was Scott Partridge to pick up his 3rd goal of the season, and Bristol City are a goal in front. Well, with the likes of Mark SHAIL and Stuart Monroe at the back, Bristol City have had a very solid season. Now they'll have to defend again, though. Oh, they're all looking at it. Slavin over. Porter flicks it over, and eventually SHAIL gets it away. Well, just as I was talking how solid this City defence had been, confusion between Hewlett and Scott, but neither Porter or any of his teammates could capitalise on the hesitation. Tinnion runs himself towards Hewlett. Hewlett! Well, while they were all appealing for handball, they gave him an extra yard, which allowed the teenager to turn and shoot. And unfortunately, it was straight at Digweed. Johnson. Drysdale. Furlong. Tricky on the edge of the box, but too many players to go round. Not a bad effort from Tom Mooney, though. The first chance of the second half. Certainly wasn't from there, the offside, but anyway. Well, there have been some heated exchanges in recent games between Watford and... that's Furlong in. Well, I was just saying, there have been heated exchanges. There may be now, because there'll be all sorts of questions asked as to why Keith Welsh came off his line, and Furlong was in there extremely quickly to just chip it over his head. Well, it came out of nothing, and just as their minds were taken off it by a strange refereeing decision, no one was quite sure what was going on. Furlong stepped in and chipped it over Welsh. Harriott. Harriott still going. Still going. Gets the cross in, Robinson. And it goes out for a corner, although everyone was expecting a goal kick. Good run from Harriott. Kept on going, still went past his man. And Robinson sliding in at the near post. Tinnion's corner, bent towards Martin. Robinson! And for a moment, Liam Robinson thought he'd broken his duck at Ashton Gate. But it's snatched away from him, that moment of glory, and it's cleared off the line. Great swirling corner. Martin's header back in, and it was Liam Robinson who just put a touch on the header, and it was just taken away from him.
A major surprise when he handed in his team sheet. 17-year-old Wayne Brown named in goal because regular keeper Keith Welsh was taken ill today and couldn't play. Peterborough, already doomed to relegation, had no such surprises in store. Their line-up very much as expected. Dominic Iorfa, the likely danger man up front. The commentator is Gary Bloom.
Bristol City's last match of the league season is underway against Peterborough United, who have already been relegated to the second division. Oh, there's a chance for Junior Bent right early on, and he scored! 13 seconds. It has to be one of the earliest goals ever scored at Ashton Gate. What a start for Bristol City. Well, Bent was in the clear here, and his composure in front of goal was exemplary. So we have the second kick-off in the space of 40 seconds. And Bristol City have an early advantage. And here's Tinnion now for Bristol City. Looking for Bent. Time smuggled away by the Peterborough United defence. My goodness, it's been a difficult season for Peterborough United, and made even more difficult in their last match in the First Division, courtesy of Junior Bent. Tinnion to take the corner. Oh, and it's headed off his own goal line by a Peterborough United defender. I think it was Lee Howard. Oh, what a breakneck start for Bristol City. It's almost 2-0. Tinnion. Carter. The one possession back rather luckily in the end. That one given away disappointingly by McGorry. Edwards in towards Martin now. Bent! Let's go! Two goals for Junior Bent in the opening quarter of an hour of this match. It was a lovely cross by Dave Martin, and Bent was there and marked to power the ball past Scott Cooksey. Well, Bristol City are really on a roll. Bent must dream about chances like that. Howard. Oh, he offers through here for Peterborough. That was a smart shot on goal. He just got underneath it a little bit. And if this lob had been more expertly timed, I don't suspect there was a lot Wayne Brown could have done about that. Tinnion. It's a good ball to Scott. And it's going to be a corner kick to Bristol City. So Bristol City ending the first half, how they begun it. Plenty of pressure. Plenty of goal-mouth incident. There's Tinnion bending this cross. Partridge! Oh! The width of an upright denies Bristol City a third goal. That was a terrific header by Scott Partridge, who almost claimed his 5th goal in 7 appearances. That's quite some record. Edwards now, as Bristol City drive forward again. It's up towards Partridge, and a good catch by Scott Cooksey, who was almost beaten a moment before with this splendid header by Scott Partridge. Bent almost claimed his hat-trick on the back post too. Brissett. Glashan takes it on for Peterborough United with 3 minutes remaining now of this first half. Brissett's cross. McGorry! Oh, that's a good save by Wayne Brown. The first he's had to make in the first half. He's had to wait 42 minutes to be pulled into the action. But his reflexes here denied Peterborough United a goal after the ball had ricocheted up off Mark SHAIL onto the head of Brian McGorry. So Peterborough United get the second half underway. 2 goals behind, both goals scored by Junior Bent. Cooksey's well outside his box here, it's tipped back in by Liam Robinson, who's just come on. And the second half starts just as the first. And Liam Robinson, who's just come on as a substitute at half-time, has chipped the ball into an unguarded goal. Well, Cooksey decided to play the makeshift sweeper. He then decided he couldn't chase the ball, and Liam Robinson chipped it back into the goal. McGorry, spearing. Knocked in by Lee Williams. Oh, that's another great save by Wayne Brown. Easily his best save of the match. And the applause is all for the 17-year-old goalkeeper. Terrific cross by Lee Williams. Met by McGlashan, and how about that for a save? How come Fennell didn't score? Bradshaw, Iorfa. A bit of width to this Peterborough raid. Williams. Oh, he's going all the way. Oh, they can't get past Wayne Brown. Well, Bristol City have unearthed a new hero. Wayne Brown, who's deputising for Keith Welsh, is having a great game for the home side. Iorfa. Fennell's off target with that twisting, looping header. He's burned a couple of opportunities now, in truth. It came off Iorfa's head, and Fennell really should have flicked that one more accurately onwards. Now there's an opening here. This is Iorfa. Bradshaw's calling for the ball. McGlashan now for Peterborough. Yes, they have a goal at last, and it comes from the substitute Andy Fennell. It's taken them 12 minutes of the second half to find a goal, but they have one at last. It could be their last in the First Division before relegation to Division 2. Iorfa did ever so well to pick out McGlashan. And McGlashan's clever little chip cross was met by Fennell. And for once, Wayne Brown was beaten. Robinson, that's well played. Partridge now. Bent is onside on his hat-trick. Oh, how did he miss it? The ball was always half a yard ahead of him. It was never really under his control. And in the end, he was unable to force a shot on goal. Edwards. That's a good ball into Scott. Bent, oh, denied his hat-trick by Tony Spearing on the goal line. Oh, why was Martin Scott allowed to bring the ball so far here? He could have passed the ball to McCobb. It went past Partridge, and Bent's shot was cleared by Spearing. Harriet. Well, there's Liam Robinson, who scored with virtually his first touch after coming on at half-time, and he scored again! Oh, what a goal by Liam Robinson! He put terrific curve into this shot, and it completely deceived the Peterborough United goalkeeper, Scott Cooksey. Oh, this has to go down as one of the best goals scored here this season. Look at the curve on that shot, which deceived Cooksey. There's a real carnival atmosphere now inside Ashton Gate. And that is the end of the season. Bristol City have signed off on an emphatic note. 2 goals from Liam Robinson and 2 also for Junior Bent. Positive win this for Bristol City, their biggest since November. The final score, Bristol City 4, Peterborough United 1. Sleeve.